ways that we communicate and market with our club. You're all laughing at Facebook, right? However, Dr. McNamara, do you use Facebook?
Yes, I do. Yes, I use Facebook.
So my point is the demographics of the parents of these kids are my age. They're like 35 to 50 years old. These people use Facebook. They're not on TikTok. Okay, some of them are, but my point is that you have to know what's the demographic of the people you're trying to communicate with, and then use the technology that they're typically using. So that's not the only form that we use, but so we have a Facebook page. The main mode of communication of like certain announcements is to send an email. The main mode in which we are trying to generate advocacy for the club so that the community sees us doing these activities and promoting running in the community and getting kids running and families running is Facebook is our biggest factor. We had the newspaper run one article when we first started, but one thing I do want to call your attention to, if you're not as familiar with Facebook, is we have two different pages. We have here what we call the public page. Anything we post on this page, anybody on Facebook can view it, okay? We have certain administrators who can post on that. And so let me show you a little bit of behind the scenes, the public page. So I'm an administrator in here, and what's unique is you can go on there to see how many people have been reached by certain postings. You can look at across October 8th to November 4th, we've reached 1,200 people based upon our postings. And then engagements means that they've clicked on it, they've clicked on a link, they've commented, they've liked it. We've had 1,400 engagements, which is up 19% from the previous month. And the page likes are the total number of people who have liked our public Facebook page are now following it, that they'll see updates for it. So this is sort of behind the scenes what Facebook is. If you're ever, we don't do any type of paid advertising, but a lot of marketing goes into that. If you're in a sort of a for-profit type of situation where you're wanting to get more traffic there, then you might get into the paid piece to it. So based upon people hearing about our club, and a lot of times people who don't have kids but they're like grandparents or relatives of the people that are in a club seeing this, every year we receive multiple donations. A local physician gave us a $500 check last year just based upon hearing about us through the community, and a lot of times it's through Facebook. So this is the public page. I'll just scroll down. You can see a lot of different videos that we can post on there. I'll just put running specific articles I'll throw up on there that people can see. Here's our high school team just won the district championship. So that's the public page. Now we also have what they call a public group in Facebook, and this is the title for it, and people get confused because they think that we only have one Facebook page, but this is a private group that you must be invited by somebody who's already within that group, or you have to request access to it, and one of our administrators can allow you to be into it. And this is where we put a little bit more private information, like, hey, I'm going running on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at the park. Does anybody want to join? I wouldn't feel totally comfortable putting that on the public page, but I feel a lot more comfortable posting that on this more private group page. We ask questions when they enter it. It's like, do you live in the Grove City area? Are you interested in track and field and cross country and distance running and walking? And are you willing to are you interested in becoming a club member? We do not require them to be a club member for this page, but some people might. More of these private pages, you can attach when you go to click and add a post, and you click the three lines here, you can add a file. If I try to do that on a public page, and I don't know the rationale for this. I guess so people aren't putting files that have viruses on there. That is not an option. You cannot attach a PDF file on a public Facebook page. Only more of these private groups So that's a little bit about the way that we advocate and market and recruit. We definitely get people will, this button right here is the messaging button, so people can send direct messages to the club through that, and we'll have people find out about us through our Facebook page, and they'll ask about, hey, when are you meeting again to have a group run, and can you send me more information about the club? So when people Google athletic or fitness-based clubs in this area, our Facebook page comes up a lot. So we also do have a Twitter account. It's not that overly effective in the sense of advocating for our club. We'll get a few interactions, and we see here we only have 87 followers. Twitter is really good for following the latest sports news, and that's one of the main reasons why we have a Twitter account. Outside of that, it's also really good actually for professional development and following people who post teaching and pedagogy types of ideas for that. Our textbook actually has a Twitter account that has a lot more views, followers than our athletics club, but we have a link to our website here. And we post, okay, so our elementary team won the Mercer County Athletic Conference Championship recently, and so we post some stuff, but 2 likes, 2 hearts or whatever, and 1 retweet is not getting it totally done. But some people in the community will follow us through that. If you haven't yet, I really recommend you following our textbook. We're pushing close to 1,000 followers here, but we put a lot. We try to retweet and share a lot of technology focused things for physical educators, health educators, and coaches on our Twitter account. And definitely take a look and follow that. So then we also did create a LinkedIn profile. It's really good for networking with other people professionally. And sometimes when people do some searches within LinkedIn, they might come across our club. I really encourage you to have an individual LinkedIn profile. You can find jobs on LinkedIn. You can interact with other professionals. You can join specific interest groups within LinkedIn as well. Public health, physical education, coaching, American College of Sports Medicine, different types of interest groups that you might get involved in with LinkedIn. I go in and try to make other connections. So I go into the network part of it, and I will try to connect with people, try to get more name recognition for our club. And you can see we have over 300 connections for LinkedIn.